Hey, fellas, I want to say something, a series of things, and I don't want you to think that I am losing my mind. I am very sane, but there are some times when I had a couple of guys come back into my life that I knew when I was in the Middle East. And let me sit down. And I don't know if you guys know what it's like to have something. They talk to you about things that you have purposely tried to forget about, and when they bring it back up, it just cascades or floods into your life. So I'm going to walk around and try to make sense out of what happened. So these two guys, young men, while I was a E6 promotable when I was in the Middle East. Um, Doing being part of, now I was an EOD sergeant, which means I had a P1, a P2, and myself, the team leader. Now, the P2 was my safety observer, and the P3 was the guy who was running the 50 cal to make sure anybody who rolled up on us, he cut them in half. So, and anyways, just let me get to the fucking point. Now, I'm going to show you what we're looking at. Now, I need this type of quiet. I need feel the breeze, and these two guys are really good human beings. But all right, let's go back inside. I do not want to think about or be associated with that stuff that we did, and I'm going to tell you something I've never told anybody, even the VA clinicians. I feel very guilty about some of the things I witnessed and some of the things I tried to make sense out of or tried to report, only to be told to shut the fuck up. Green 3 green, which is grab your ammo, grab your water, grab your food, move the fuck out. And I don't know if you guys have ever been in the military, but when a group of combat guys get a hold of somebody like me, when we're considered an asset, they're not going to fucking let us go. And it doesn't matter. Anyways, if you don't outrank, I just ended up being trapped. Not trapped, I ended up being. I went up to take care of a roadside IED and to clear some bodies, and I ended up being trapped with a infantry battalion for quite a long time. And they wouldn't let me go. Anyway, so. Now, I try very hard to forget about the things that I saw during that time of my life. And I cannot tell you, I cannot give you the experience. The most visceral part of all of that was the smells. The smell of death and bodies and seeing people screaming and crying. Those are things that just don't go away. Now, I'm not trying to say that, oh, poor me or anything like that. No, I'm just telling you what it's like, and I don't want to see any of us get into a war again. A vast majority of people completely underestimate the amount of death that occurs during a war, a civil unrest, whatever the fuck you want to call that. I cannot tell you. So let me just get to the point. So, they wanted to meet up and hang out and talk about the old times and all this kind of stuff. And I told them no. And they had a very hard time with me telling them no, because that's not part of my life anymore. I don't want to go back into and deal with that stuff. It's... in an industrial conflict, a war, the amount of death and destruction that goes on is beyond comprehension. I still have bad dreams and have problems sleeping because of the things I saw, and just some of the things that happened to me. I spent 18 months at Walter Reed getting shit picked out of my face. Listen, these teeth aren't mine. They ground out. Anyways, I have screws and bolts in my arms and in my knees. Anyways. I don't want any of you to get hoodwinked or fooled into thinking that if we have a war or a civil war, that especially if a powerhouse country like the United States or Russia or anybody else gets involved in it, the amount of hate and discontent and damage they can do is beyond comprehension. It is so overwhelming, a lot of us just shut off. And anyways, I remember them putting me on the helicopter when I got hurt. I remember the guy above me bleeding into my face. Now, they stack us on the chopper. 1, 2, 3. I was the second guy. The guy above me, pissed, shit on himself, bled all over, vomited, pissed. I can't even fucking tell you. And I was right below him. Anyways, I spent a lot of time by myself because I don't want to inflict any of this bullshit on anybody else. I'm not trying to make this any bigger than it is, and you know what? I should be a big boy, put my big boy pants on, and just let it go, but I can't. And you know what? I can, and I do, but every once in a while something happens that brings it all back, and it's like they call it the cascade effect, where you have all the shit back here and you don't think about it, and then somebody brings it up and it just... Anyways, so that's what happened today. I don't want any of you to see the horrors of war on an industrial scale. It is dehumanizing. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to tell you this, and I hope it doesn't sound bad to you. I did whatever it took for me to survive to get back home. Now, I'm not going to go into any depth of that, but I did a lot of things that I don't want to talk about. And I don't want you to know that I did. So, love you guys. Stay safe and healthy. Take care of each other if you can. And if you can't, you have to take care of yourselves. And listen to me. They tell us to compartmentalize this, or they would give us stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen Clockwork Orange, where they hold the guy's eyes open and they call. I participated in the flooding thing, and that's fucking psychotic. I just have to live with this shit, and it's not your fault or anybody else's fault, but it's why I stay. Why I spend a lot of time by myself. So, love you guys. I don't want to see us have a civil war. I don't want to see us get involved in a war. I cannot tell you how horrible it is. Now, when you're winning and all that kind of stuff, and you're desensitized from the war part of it, but when you get into the nitty-gritty, when you're in there and you have to smell all the death, and you have to see all of the carnage, and you have to see family members screaming and crying, I would not wish that upon any of you. And I'm going to let this go. Love you guys. I had no idea David Bukowski, that's his name, David Bukowski, and Michael Vineyard. I had no idea they would pop it back into my life, and they were talking about things that I just don't want to fucking remember. I don't want to think about them anymore. Love you guys. Stay safe and healthy. Take care of each other if you can, and if you can't, take care of yourselves. Like a fart in a G-string from West Texas, El Paso. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.